Hello, I'm Dr. Sam Graber. Welcome to our channel. This is the time that I get to do a little creativity and bring some culinary creativity to this channel. I am not a professional chef. I'm a retired chiropractor, now turned coach. I also consult with businesses on how to improve the health of their employees. Today, I'm going to be your guide on cooking something that is a go-to around our house. Not as much right now, but we're going to get back to it. And that is egg roll in a bowl. It's actually, you could kind of consider it like a deconstructed egg roll if you want to be snooty, but really it's just egg roll in a bowl. So I've got all my ingredients out here. It is a really quick cook. If you already have your meat thawed, and if you use a little cheat. So you can have a full head of cabbage and slice it your own, and I was completely going to show you both of them, but the cabbage just wasn't looking that great. It was kind of like it had been sitting at the store for too long, and I thought, let me just go super easy. So you can grab these items. Most stores have them. This brand, it doesn't matter if it's just this brand, but it's like a coleslaw mix or tri-colored mix or something along those lines. Cuts your prep time in like not even half, like by 9/10, okay, if you want to get really technical. So I've got all my ingredients out here and we're going to get cooking. I'm going to turn on the stove first. We're going to be cooking with this wonderful cast iron skillet. I am going to put a little bit of bacon grease in it because, I mean, why not use bacon when you can? Let's find that. We have issued ourselves a little contest, or I don't know what we're going to call it, but anyway, if we're doing recipes, we've got to use either bacon or butter in each of these recipes. So this is how I'm getting bacon into the mix. I love it. All right, we are going to be amusing ourselves on this channel. Life is challenging enough, and oh my gosh, do we just have too many things to be paying attention to. So if we can have a little fun while we cook together and nourish ourselves, we're going to do it. Let's get that going. All right, so if you would like, I have a link in the description where you can get our recipes sent to you on a weekly basis. Once you opt in, you'll get all of the recipes, so you don't need to opt in each time. But my goal is to have a new recipe for you every week. It'll be on the low carb kind of continuum. Side note, there's no food that's keto. You know, I know you'll see it a lot on the shelves because it's super trendy, which I'm happy about, that it's more in the news and more people are doing it. But with that trendiness, like everything, it kind of gets bastardized. So no food can be keto. Keto is all about creating ketones in your body. So ketogenic. So it's all about the carbs. It's really important to know what your carbohydrate tolerance level is. So you need to experiment with you. What works for your friend, your colleague, your partner may not work for you. So the whole idea is to get to know your own body. So that's what this channel is all about. So it's not just cooking. If you're just finding me on one of these recipes, check out the rest of the things that I talk about. Been on YouTube for many, many years, educating, and now, like I say, we're doing a creative project. All right, so all that blabbering might have given me enough time for this to heat up. So we're gonna put in a little sesame oil on top of our bacon grease. And before you say, oh my God, that sounds so gross, trust me, it is so good because again, bacon is great in everything. And using bacon grease is an excellent way to help your pan. All right, so we need 2 tablespoons of sesame oil. So it should be just about right with what is left in this jar, in this bottle. Oh my gosh, look at us, y'all. I couldn't have planned that any better. That's crazy. Squeeze out every last drop. Boop, boop. All right. So the scent of bacon grease and sesame oil together is so good. As we're getting that warmed up, throughout our pan. All right, there we go. And so now we want to put garlic in, and I'm going to show you how we do our garlic. So we bought this really big bag of garlic already peeled, and my daughter put this in the food processor, mashed it all together, and then we put it in the little ice cube trays. So now each one of these we estimate is about 6 cloves. So I'm going to cut this in half. And then we'll freeze that again. So let me put that in here. I'm gonna let her warm up. Now I've got this because I've got the cast iron skillet and those two wonderful oils in here. I've got it at a medium temperature, and we're using just one of these kind of cooktops. We're not using gas, it's electric. Cook our beef here as soon as that gets heated up. In the meantime, I'm gonna come back here. And of the recipe, we've got green onions or scallions, and we're gonna use both the white part and the green part a little bit later. So I'm gonna chop these bad boys up. One thing to keep in mind when you are cleaning, when you are cleaning your onions, I always peel it. I left this kind of unpeeled. I always peel that first layer, because I don't know about you, but when you look at them and they look kind of dirty, and even though you clean them, I feel like if there are too many of these layers, dirt can get down there and bacteria and God knows what. So I try to cut that back. So I'm just showing you, like, I peel that off. Now, another fun fact, if I wasn't using the whites, like if I'm normally just using the greens for garnish and taste, then I will cut it like right about here and put that white part in dirt, or in soil, excuse me. Will would be so upset with me if I called it dirt. In soil, so that it will then propagate and start growing again. So these roots can keep growing, and you can get perpetual use out of your scallions or your green onions. Kind of cool fun fact, but we're using the whites today, so I won't be doing that. So I'm gonna go through. Now I could use a different knife. I'm gonna challenge myself today. No, I'm not. I'm getting a big knife. It's taking too long. Taking too long, y'all. Okay. So yeah, decent slicing. You can do them as thick as you like. I have noticed if I do it too thin, then they kind of get lost in the food. So I like them about this thickness, which I'm thinking you'll get a view on. It's like quarter an inch. No, maybe not that big. Anyway, here we go. Again, not a professional chef, so I have not mastered making this look like the people on TV do. My friend Darren keeps trying to teach me how to do the fast chop, chop, chop. I just am too big a chicken still. Anyway, we're gonna put this in. Start with these guys. You break up that garlic now that she's had a moment. Okay, she's still fine. And then now we're gonna do about a half a cup of a purple onion. Now because this, I don't wash this, I'm just gonna peel it. I'm going to cut it over here so I won't be cutting it on the same spot with this skin, I guess. I'm not cutting it on the same spot as I'm cutting other items that we're going to actually eat raw. All right. There we go. Peeling that first bit. Now, if you were doing some kind of like a prep ahead, meal prepping, these are all things that you can have done way ahead of time. So literally you're just assembling the night that you're cooking it, or you cook it one night and then have leftovers, which is an awesome way to go. Remember, these items are going to go into our compost pile. Think it about right there, should be about a half a cup. So we'll put one in here. We're going to be dicing this. Now, you could be as fancy as you want. If you want to have little ringlets, have at it. You can really make your onion any way you like, any way you prefer. I might do both. Okay. Now, if you hear transient piglet noises, it's our dog. She loves to run through the kitchen and she snorts. It's so funny. She's a little Boston, but she sounds like a little piglet. Just sometimes what we thought would have been a cute name for her. There we go. Oh, she's going to find an onion and not like that. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to turn that down a little bit. So when I'm cooking garlic, I just kind of see like when it starts to brown and then I turn it down a bit. I am a little distracted trying to do all this. I'm still figuring out timing, so hopefully I will not be burning the garlic. That would be a major faux pas, but I don't think we will. Here we go. Okay, so I'm gonna tend to those for a moment. Garlic, white portions, and the onion. Saute till onions are translucent and garlic is fragrant, which it is. Okay, so now we'll put our meat in. I'm going to show you one of my favorite tools when cooking ground meat. Please hold. Here it is. I call it the meat masher, but I think it has a more technical term. I got this from a friend of mine, a client who became a friend. She does the, what was that? What's the name of this brand? Pampered Chef, that's it. And I just love it. I am not sponsored by Pampered Chef, but I'm totally open to negotiating. Or if anyone just wants to send us fun stuff to showcase, we're open to it. Message us here through the YouTube. Okay, so I get this all mashed out. Try to get it about even so that it will cook evenly. And you'll see the beauty of this in just a moment. All right, so bring this in, get all that goodness out of little sections. More of that yummy sesame oil out. I try not to waste things. Like I'm kind of one of those weirdos that really pays attention to our waste, and when buying products I really try to make things, or to buy things that are environmentally conscious and aware, like not a huge thing of plastic for one little item that drives me crazy. Just trying to be more conscious. So when we can utilize everything to the very last drop, I feel good about that. Okay, so the masher helped us get to that level. Now we're going to keep cooking and give this a little higher heat, just because I don't want you to have to sit here and watch meat cook, but I guess you can. Might be kind of therapeutic. And then now we're going to add the ginger paste. I love to use something like this. You can use fresh ginger. You can also just use ground ginger. I don't think it tastes as good. I love this stuff. So I do about an inch or about a teaspoon. Might be a little more than an inch, but anywho. So we're gonna do sea salt and pepper to taste. Awesome. All right, so on this camera, you'll see about an inch of that. I might do a little more because I really do love the ginger. Thing with recipes is you get to tailor them over time to what you and your family prefer. I try to start with the recipe first to then see what we like. There we go. Okay, we're gonna mix all that in. Okay, so once that's cooked, I'm gonna put this chili paste in. Okay, fresh. I learned from someone early on in my not professional cooking career to season as you go along. Obviously you don't want to taste raw meat at this stage, but looking at it and thinking, okay, now I've got all these different flavors in here. I'm going to add salt and pepper to this stage in just a moment after we do the chili sauce. So since this is clean, I'm just going to go reach in here and do one. Now, if you're like me and more on the gringa side of things and you don't like it tremendously spicy, start with less. You can always add more. The recipe calls for 3 teaspoons, but I'm just doing 2, and Tyler can add as much as he wants. Put that over here. Okay, mix that guy up. Now, I think we're using like a 90-10 beef, so there's not a lot of juices here. But if you have if you have more, maybe it's just freshly frozen and you're thawed out and there's a lot of water, feel free to take some of that out. But you can have some liquid at this stage and it's just going to steam the cabbage. But you know, some recipes you want to get some of that grease out if that's just not your preference. I find cooking is kind of fun, and like I say, it's creative. You get to just express yourself however you want to, and it's food you're going to eat, so just make sure it's something you like. Who cares what everyone else thinks? It's kind of my motto for most things in life. I really don't care what people think. Okay, next now we're going to salt. We watch way too many cooking shows, and one of our favorites, Scott Conant, he is always saying more salt, just as Alex Guarnaschelli. Two of our favorites. Well, that's for you guys. Oh, this is looking good. Okay. So I feel like that is cooked lovingly. So now let's double check. Coleslaw mix, coconut aminos, and rice wine vinegar. Awesome. The easiest step. Now, let me do this. Should probably just use scissors. Okay. So watch this. This is very, very in-depth, high skill needed. Oh, I love it. So, you know, we do take some shortcuts at times, and yes, it's plastic, so I kind of feel bad about that, but the cabbage would have been housed in plastic too. So now I want to just set this mound down a bit. And what I do is let this sit here for a while and kind of steam in, steam some of that cabbage. And at this point, everything's edible. You can then cook it as long as you feel comfortable. I'm going to add a couple more sauces. But if you like your cabbage to be a little more toothy, you go for it. You can have it over raw. It doesn't matter. The meat's already cooked. But if you're like me and you like just a bit of kind of give, or less toothy for your cabbage, you want to just cook it. So I come in here kind of like I'm cutting a piece of pie. Pull all that out. Yes, I eat pie from time to time. It's got to be good pie. Bad pie is not worth it. So here, so now we're starting to see that steaming. All right, let me add our sauce. Boom and boom. How much do we want? 6. Okay, so the rice wine vinegar, it's about 1 teaspoon. I'm just going to go like that. All look good. And the same thing with the coconut aminos. I use coconut aminos just because it's wheat-free, it's soy-free, and being in a lower carb kind of lifestyle or way of eating, I prefer this to traditional soy. And this will also help with the steaming of that cabbage. And then each person can add more as they see fit. All right, so see how that's starting to change the color, all that seasoning's coming together. The cabbage is becoming a little more limp, I guess we'll call it. And here we are. Okay, we'll let that keep going. We're pretty much just done. We're looking for how we want it to be. I'm going to cook. I'm going to cut up the green part of the scallions. And this is just for garnish. If you don't like them, you don't have to use them. I think they're pretty. In fact, now I'm going to get a little creative and make them on the angle, on the bias. Count all your fingers and make sure you have the same number when you're done. No fun losing a finger or a thumb. And you can use as much of this as you like. I can see all the professional chefs out there just cringing. I'm getting close to my fingers. I know, someday I'll learn. There we go. And boom. Right on. And then we have some toasted sesame for garnishing fully. All right. I'm gonna let that keep going. Cooking. It's one thing that when I'm counseling or coaching clients on adopting a lifestyle that helps them become metabolically flexible, which just means they can switch between burning fat for fuel and burning glucose or sugars. When I'm doing that, I really like people to think about getting a variety of meats, different types of proteins, and then a variety of vegetables, and the ones that are on that lower carb side or higher fiber, things like cabbage. Now you'll see, and I know someone's going to be like, hey, wait a minute, I thought you said low carb and I see carrots. Yes, there are carrots in here, but there are only a few. And if you're like supremely doing, let's say you're getting into ketosis for a medical reason, or you are somebody who is highly sensitive to carbohydrates and you really need to keep your carbs very low, just go for getting your own cabbage and chopping that up. You can do either green or purple or both. Yeah. So anyway, all that to say, you don't have to be super strict if you're not needing to be. I think the idea of eating is to, number one, nourish us, but number two, ideally we get to enjoy it. So this is looking just about right. I'm gonna give it just a few more moments. And I'm not smelling as much of the aminos as I want to, so I'm gonna add some more. Oh. Now this is a meal in and of itself, but you could add a side like a steamed cauliflower rice or broccoli rice or whatever kind of rice you want to make that is more from the brassica family. The way I would do that, and we'll have other recipes at times, but I would shred that up, and you can use your food processor or just a typical cheese grater. Shred all that up and then put it in this pan or a pan like it. Steam that out so you get a lot of the water out, and then just season it as well with the same things that you seasoned your egg roll in a bowl. All right, I think we are good. I'm going to grab some devices to put this into, or I'll be right back. Okay. Oh, nicely steaming. Okay, so I'm going to turn this off, and I will see you on the other screen in just a moment. So I want to be able to show you this, and this is, I think we got this one open on. All right, so here's our green onion on the wonderful meal. Grab a fork, all that goodness. All right, let's see how she is. Besides hot, very good. All right, don't want to be rude talking with food in my mouth, but I hope you've enjoyed. Stick with us. We're going to get this nice little rhythm going here. My idea is to just, like I say, have some fun, teach you a couple things. If there's anything that you want to know, I mean, please, let's light up those comments. I'm here to help you, here to serve not only food, but good wisdom. Thanks for joining. See you next time. Bye for now. Minor detail, hold on. Please hold, dog in the kitchen. Oh, we knew that was gonna happen. It's funny. Okay, so we're doing our green meat. I just bought this, so let me get this little guy out of here. Why they gotta make it so confusing? So complicated, there we go. All right.